Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you all doing on tonight? I hope you guys are doing a lot better than me with this bullshit that we've been trying to do for the past hour and a half, but that's all right. God is still good. He is still great and worthy to be praised. Thank you for joining us on tonight for this wonderful conversation that we're going to have. But before we do that, I want to have the pleasure of introducing someone who is absolutely amazing. You guys know who he is. If you don't trust me, pretty soon your ass will know who he is. That is the one, the only, Davion, motherfucking Augustus, Consciouztv. How are you doing on tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for that introduction. How are you?
I am much better now, much better now, and ready to have this wonderful conversation with you.
I am really glad to hear that.
Yes, praise the Lord. I'm going to give it to you hoes just like how you guys get it in church. Today's sermon is titled, Queer People Who Are Anti-Queer. Now, how did that come about? But before we get into how that really came about, I kind of want to give you a precursor. I recently did a video in reference to Daryl Walls, who was part of the gospel group known as the Walls Group. Shout out to Larry Reed Live for that story. You guys can check that whole video out because I don't want to talk about the whole entire thing. It'll kind of give you a precursor of why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling right now in reference to this topic. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. That's BubzDaGawd. That's BubzDaGawd, BubzDaGawd, okay? But what really sparked this conversation for me was an article that was shared or that I've seen on Facebook. The article was about a children's cartoon show entitled Star versus the Forces of Evil, which is a children's show that's featured on Disney XD. I don't know who still has Disney XD, but okay, whatever. And on that show, it featured a gay kiss. Unfortunately, that caused a lot, and I do mean a lot of uproar. We can also talk about the most recent episode of Arthur, where Professor Ratburn ended up getting married to another man and how they dealt with that whole situation. But the fact that the comment that was shared by this individual kind of really made me feel some type of way because they kind of favored.
And can we just preface what you're about to say and say that this sentiment isn't about this particular person.
Oh,
this
no,
is a sentiment that has been shared by a certain aspect of the LGBTQIA community who share these sentiments as well. That's who will be addressed in this conversation.
Yeah, it's not no personal thing or whatsoever. It's just that was an article that kind of really stemmed that for me. Who was just sending me something on my computer? Okay, whatever. So, yes, for me, it's really problematic. It's very problematic. I know of a few gospel artists who have their hair done, their makeups done, their fashion put together by same-gender-loving men and still are talked about to this day. It's talked about to this day in reference to the church and in reference to sexuality, which is very taboo within the black church. At least that's where I'm coming at it from in reference to religion. But before I get deeper into that, I want to give Davion an opportunity to speak about this. Anything that you would like to add on?
Well, I want to add on for one that we try to find another queer person who would be arguing from the other side of this argument in terms of their own distress or discomfort, dis-ease, or their issue with seeing representation of LGBTQIA people on television, in cartoons, in media, who also feel like their homophobic heterosexual counterparts, whereas they don't want to see their own likeness reflected in the general population either. So we couldn't find anybody. I'm not really surprised by that because a lot of these people don't even, if they don't have the confidence to even accept themselves, they don't have the confidence to even stand in their truth to begin with. So I'm not surprised that we couldn't pull anybody to be a part of this conversation. But yeah, that's who we'll be speaking to. I have a following of 5,000 people on my Facebook page, and about 85% of those individuals are black, same-gender loving men. A part of my ministry is really geared toward the salvation and the liberation of LGBTQIA people. This is a particular ministry that I feel particularly called to, and that I have a particular insight and anointing for. So I'm really in the business of really helping queer people unpack themselves psychologically, unpack themselves spiritually, unpack themselves emotionally. And I've seen a lot of the same rhetoric even on my own timeline. I just had another guy, I'm sure everybody has heard about the video where the two guys were in church performing oral sex throughout the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And there were people on my own Facebook list, on my own Facebook page, who not only obviously had an issue with where this action was taking place at, but also just came off as really homophobic, just in nature, just homophobic in the way that they articulated their feelings about the holy place being obstructed by this homosexual act. And it's very clear to me also, because I've worked closely with LGBT people spiritually, that LGBT people, I mean, it's of no shock and surprise that LGBT people have struggled with their sexuality. Ever since there's been a religion, there's been a struggle when it comes to sexuality. And even those who flaunt their sexuality, who are active sexually, are active romantically, as open as they may be and as confident as they may come out, you would be surprised how many of them people you could get to agree that their sexual orientation is an abomination, or is sinful, or is unnatural, or there's still a conviction and a condemnation about the orientation. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in unpacking all of that in this conversation.
Okay, yes. So let's go ahead and start with one of the big ones that we hear a lot, which is it's being forced onto our children. You know, someone's got to worry about the children. First, let's just start with the fact that you are not forced to do anything, especially when you have a choice, correct?
Right.
To understand, I'm just trying to understand where this whole thing is a reference to children being exposed to same-gender loving individuals at a young age, how that's going to manipulate them or influence them to be same-gender loving. I grew up in a household, a whole household at that, which is very rare nowadays. Both my mother and my father have been together for over 20-some, close to 30 years now. I grew up watching heterosexual television shows. I grew up watching Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Bravo and all these things that really had very heavy roots in heteronormativity, right? But still, I was still gay. There wasn't any molestation. There wasn't any other sort of anything like that. It was the fact that I just was gay. So I need to understand, where is this whole fear coming from? Where is this coming from? I don't think they're going to personally be able to be strong enough and to be honest enough to just admit that they don't want their children to be gay, or that they don't want gay to be part of the equation at all. I mean, we can even take it a little bit broader than that and out of religion, even into the whole Pan-Africanism situation. There are Pan-African people who do not subscribe to organized religion but still feel that that is a mindset, that is a European mindset, and that you can be influenced to do something like that. I don't see it that way, because like I said, if that was the case, then that means that everybody is bisexual and we're all just making choices on what we're going to do in reference to our sexuality. But when you pose that question, then all of a sudden it's a problem. So what are your takes on that as far as the whole forcing it onto children is concerned?
Well, you definitely hit it on the nail. That, first of all, there's no such thing as force. Nothing is being forced on you when you can change the channel, when you can turn the television off, when you can control what your children are exposed to. And just like y'all don't allow y'all children to watch Boys in the Hood, and don't allow them to watch Menace to Society, and don't allow them to watch Next Friday, and don't allow them to watch soft porn on HBO. There's nothing keeping you from, if you do feel that pressed as a parent about a marriage ceremony between two squirrels, then there's nothing wrong with being able to, with deciding to change the channel. Now, I'm also very confused about this narrative of children because you just hit on the nail. We all know this has nothing to do with the children. This is just homophobic people hiding their homophobia behind the guise of what about the children. It has nothing to do with the fucking children because you all have no problem, okay, explaining why Beauty is marrying a fucking beast.
Yeah.
It's bestiality going on in a whole cartoon, and nobody has protested Beauty and the Beast. Nobody has created a partition of why the fuck is Beauty marrying a whole bull. Okay? Let's not really get into this. Why the hell is Princess making out with a frog?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all this bestiality in cartoons, all of this bestiality romance, all of this also fictional. These are fictional characters. You guys don't really need to explain why humans in cartoons are interacting with talking aliens and smart mermaids. A smart guy has a whole talking dog. Walking around. Who has a sexuality? This horny ass dog. Sexual as hell. Dating human women, making out with human women, and y'all talking about how are we going to explain two animals or two fictional characters of the same gender? How are we going to explain? Are you kidding me? How did you explain Aladdin and Jasmine?
Better yet, how did you explain the Tooth Fairy? How did you explain Santa Claus? How did you explain
but how did you explain these couples? How did you explain Jasmine and Aladdin? How did you explain Pocahontas and the Colonizer? How did you explain who else are some couples?
Woody and Bo Peep from Toy Story.
Woody and Bo Peep, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Yep.
So I am confused why grown adults who have graduated high school, some of y'all have also gotten somewhat of a college education. I find that hard to believe sometimes, but I'm just going to go with the literal here. Some of you have had a college education, and yet your intellectual process is completely handicapped on how do you explain same-gender love to your children. How about you tell them what you tell them about everything else? Baby, this is how some people love, this is how some people live, and this is who some people are. And it's okay. Okay? You don't have to do that, but this is how other people are in the world. And when you get older, we'll talk more about that, okay? But I don't want you out here not liking another little boy because he may be a little girlish, okay? I want you to respect that little boy. I want you to be kind to that little boy, okay? I want you to respect the little girl who acts a little boyish, okay? If she's a little tomboyish, you better treat her with respect. I expect you to be a gentleman to her, or I expect you to be a lady to her if you have a young girl who you're raising. I mean, these things are very simple. I mean, when I was growing up, the principles about kindness and respect to others was taught easily to me. My mama didn't make our respect for people about who they were. It wasn't about whether they were black or white or female or male. Respect was just simply taught to me growing up. Respect people, mind your business, and if I catch you not minding your business, I'm going to be the first one whipping your ass. So it's easy parenting. That's all. Tell your children, some people love other people of the same gender. Okay? And that's the extent of the conversation. You are not having to explain to them the sex between two people of the same gender. You're not having to explain to them the fetishes of people of the same gender. All you are having to explain is the fact that sometimes Aladdin is going to marry Jasmine, and sometimes Aladdin is going to marry Derek. Sometimes Aladdin likes Aladdin, and sometimes Jasmine likes Jasmine. See, that conversation didn't cause me no stress right there. That was so easy. That was so easy. We ain't had to talk about sex. We ain't had to talk about private parts. We ain't had to talk about doing the nasty. That was a very PG-13, simple, easy 1, 2, 3 conversation. And guess what? If kids can understand talking sponges and talking turtles and shit,
okay,
they certainly would be like, oh, okay, and keep on moving. They don't even have the attention span, girl, to even get that deep with the shit. It's going to be, oh, okay. That's it.
Cool. All right, so let's shift a little bit here. Let's go ahead and bring that topic a little bit closer in reference to queer people having conversation with other queer people who happen to be anti-queer. Let's talk about negative gay representation versus positive gay representation. When that was shared, like when people end up getting upset or having, feeling some sort of way in reference to these episodes, just like the episode on Star versus the Forces of Evil. Like I said, one of the recent episodes of Arthur showing gay people actually getting married, actually showing that they're in love with each other, showing a more positive image of us and allowing us to have the power to control our own narratives, right? No one seems to really stick up for that. But as long as the negative representations are happening, for example, like if you see some of the gay people on, what's that show, Love and Hip Hop, some of the ones that act the way that they do, why is it that we tend to focus on that? But then you have shows such as Pose that I believe they were renewed for a third season, so that's absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. But a show named Pose, where it's not only showing us in a positive light and showing the what happens in the real lives of many LGBTQIA individuals, but also gives a history lesson as well. It educates. They don't really get the support that they deserve. So why is that? Why do you think that self-loathing gays focus more so on the negative as opposed to the positive?
So there's been a lot of positive representation of queer people in the media that these same gays who can be so critical of, as you said, the negative representation, do not also give the credit to the positive representation. We've had Will and Grace. We've had Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. We've had what's the old HBO show? Queer Folk.
Queer.
The L Word. We've had lots of gay characters show up in sitcoms as wholesome figures. So for me, what I have seen in terms of the pushback and the clapback and the resistance from other homosexuals, from other trans persons, is it's a lack of self-love for one, and it's resentment for two. So you have two types of queer people, and when I say queer, I'm using queer as a umbrella term for everybody who falls within the LGBTQIA acronym instead of having to actually list off the acronym. So queer is inclusive of all the alphabet. The clapback for me has to do with self-hate. Now, the queer people have, of course, internalized homophobia the way that heterosexuals have because of the conditioning that comes from religion, which is reinforced by the governing society. So this stigma of wrongness and immorality is really, really deep-rooted even in queer people who may even try not to identify with that, but still find themselves gravitating back to this woundedness because, truth be told, their orientation or gender identity has not been reconciled on a soul level. And this is equivalent to a slave mentality where you have freed the slave but not freed its mind. So queer people have been given their freedom papers, but they have not been delivered from the self-hate and the conditioning of the toxic society that they've been raised in and programmed in. So queer people out here just throwing shit up against the wall, seeing what the fuck works, and then every now and again they're reminded of something that makes them hate themselves. If queer people don't reconcile the self-love and realize that your issue is not the representation, your issue is within your own inability to come full circle with your self-acceptance and your self-worthiness and your self-love. And it's not surprising to me that some queer people identify so much with the system that they share the same sentiments and views and feelings of their oppressor. Now, another part of that community that is anti-queer within the queer community are the queer people who are resentful toward the community. Let me let some of you folk know now, because I'm trying to compose myself. No, I'm gonna try to compose. No, I'm gonna try to compose myself first. I'm gonna go in where I need to go in at, but I'm gonna try to speak from the head and not from my heart, because my heart gonna let these souls have it. So the other part of the community is you motherfuckers. See, the heart already speaking. Fuck it. You motherfuckers.
Come on.
who done got out here and done got a reputation for being a whore, who done got out here and who done tested positive, who done got out here and who done been burnt, flipped, sauteed, or engutted by other queer people due to failed relationships, broken relationships, and bad sexual choices. And for you guys, when y'all see the representation, what y'all see is y'all enemy. Y'all see a community that has let y'all down, a community that has broken y'all's heart, a community that has not offered y'all friendship yet, that has not offered y'all a safe haven yet, that has not offered y'all love yet, romance yet. Y'all see a community that has not valued you and love you in any meaningful way, and that has nothing to do with the community, because not everybody is having that experience as a queer person. Not everybody is having a heartbroken experience as a queer person. Not everybody is being dumped and abandoned and lied on and slandered and being picked apart by the community. So that's not everybody's feeling, but for those who are, I noticed that these particular gays who have an issue with the representation and the visibility are also gays who are still deeply connected to the church. They still go to church. A lot of them still live at home with their parents. Their parents also happen to be churchgoers. So church is constantly reinforced. The Christian theology and attitude toward same-sex love is still being reinforced. And so there's no getting around the internalization of homophobia. And these are also gays who have a lot of relational issues. Like, these are gays that have low self-esteem. These are gays who are not completely comfortable in their own skin and their own queerness. And so a lot of that shit gets projected even onto the positiveness of what's going on for the queer community in terms of this liberation, in terms of this movement. So I compartmentalize those groups into two groups. The self-hate group that don't love themselves enough to want to see their own essence, their own likeness reflected back to them in media, and the gays who are taking out their own bitterness toward their own personal experience in the community onto the community at large. And we see this, and we know, look, the proof is in the pudding. If you want to know how bitter gays are toward the LGBT community, just wait every year until Pride comes around and look at the statuses. Look at the statuses of LGBT people on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook if one fucking fight breaks out.
Yep.
If one fight breaks out anywhere,
I know
gay,
it's gonna happen.
queer
people can't do that.
Go ahead.
See, that's why I don't go out now, because y'all always out here we can't never go out and do nothing. We can't never have nothing, because y'all always mess it up, and y'all fighting over some trash-ass nigga.
That's why I don't fuck with gay people now. That's why I don't fuck with the community. I don't represent the community. The community don't represent me. The proof is in the pudding. So for me, that's the heart of the homophobia within homosexuals and queer people themselves. But for you, what do you observe? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you perceive?
I'm saying the same thing. You hit the nail on the head. I mean, I can look at, and since we dropping names and being bold, boom, I give you a perfect example of an individual who is a self-loathing gay by the name of motherfucking Walter Lee goddamn Hampton. The nigga who's built like the black Olmec, okay, the gay version. That individual. The way that he talks about HIV and AIDS with such a vitriol and such a ignorance, and he always claims that, you know, I've been in the community this goddamn long. Well, at the time, you should be the gay oracle. Bitch, you should be able to read hoes' hands and tell their goddamn future. But here it is now, for those of you who don't know about Walter Lee, he's uploading this series, 20-part docu-series, girl. I guess the R. Kelly shit really made an impression on this nigga. Said, fuck surviving R. Kelly, bitch. I'm surviving Atlanta, bitch. That's what this nigga did. Put this whole thing out, put his whole social security number out of this dude that he was talking to and everything, just everything, but did not take accountability for his actions. So now all these niggas are horrible. These niggas ain't shit. Da-da-da-da. These niggas is lying. These niggas is cheating. These niggas is stealing. Da-da-da-da. But you're still allowing yourself to still deal with these individuals. And you keep manifesting these individuals in your life because they're showing you a reflection of who you are and the shit you need to pay attention to. Here it is. You can lift goddamn freeways, bitch. Okay? Lift whole trucks and shit, thinking that's going to get you a nigga, and it got you the one nigga that you fear. And this isn't the first time. This is probably the third or fourth time that we know of. So you have individuals, like this that have power, that have influence, that are speaking it, and that are further strengthening and affirming the negative stereotypes that heterosexual people already believe about us. And it's one thing for someone who is ignorant to do it, but it's another thing when you have someone who understands what it means to be gay and still believe the lies that they know is lies. But they're believing the lies because they don't want to deal with the shit. For example, like when people say, I'm gay, but I'm not that gay. What do you mean, not that gay? Are you saying, I'm gay, which means I'm gay and I'm passable and people don't know, as opposed to I'm not that gay? Because if I was that gay, I'm going to garnish a lot of attention around me wherever I go. So that means there's a likelihood of something happening to me is going to grow. So I feel like until we actually, like you said, unpack all these situations and really get down to the root of the shit, not deal with the symptoms of the bullshit, but deal with the root of the shit, then and only then will we be able to come to a meeting or find a gray area of understanding to where everybody can move forward. But before we do that, we got to do shit like this. So we have to start calling people out on the situation. And to be honest, I had another thing, but what you just said, that's how I know that source is so goddamn good, because you already answered my question. I'm about to get ready to pass the collection plate and give the benediction, to be honest. To be perfectly honest with you. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Yeah, it is something else I want to say.
Go ahead.
I love my community. I even love the self-hating, self-loathing, self-sabotaging, self-destructive, self-mutilating, self-harming members of our community. But I'm going to keep my motherfucking foot on you hoes next, because there's too many queer people out here taking their fucking lives, and there's too many heterosexual people who already feel like they inherit the right to destroy homosexual people. So when you hoes want to go public with all this self-destructive, I don't want to see this shit, why are you forcing this shit? You know what, bitch? If it ain't for you, do what every other mature person does when it ain't for them. Turn the motherfucking channel, because it's for some fucking body. It ain't got to be for you. If you don't need it, it ain't for you. Mm-hmm. But just because it ain't for you, just because it don't edify you, just because it don't benefit you personally, directly, in whatever kind of way in which you would feel it needs to, does not mean that it's not for somebody. Queer people have never had representation in this country. When it was, it's been over the past 20 years before the Supreme Court's ruling for same-gender marriage. It was sparse in media. It was sparse representation. Yeah, we had a character here on The Real World, MTV The Real World. Yeah, we had a True Life MTV documentary about same-gender loving people. Yeah, we had a Will and Grace show. We had an L Word here and there. It was sparse, okay? And you guys have to get introspective about your living. You have to become self-aware enough to say, hold up, what is my issue with seeing myself played back to me in the media through the representation that's there? Because if I'm okay enough to put a dick in my mouth and I'm okay enough to put a dick in my ass, why am I not okay with seeing same-sex sex or same-sex love or same-sex attracted people depicted in movies? And let's mind you this, there's an exaggeration of oh, it's everywhere. Name one other show on Fox other than Empire that's gay motivated, that has gay characters. Since it's everywhere and it's all on TV, name one fucking gay pop star. Name one gay R&B singer. Name one gay hip-hop rapper. Where is this quantity of homosexuality that is just saturating the culture? Where is it?
Yep, and overwhelming, yep.
Where is it? Oh. You mean the fact that you are just more aware of more gay people today than you ever have been because more gay people are confident and comfortable in who they are. And so what used to be pillow talk between two men or two women or between a trans person and their love interest now is dinner table conversation. Now can be 6 o'clock news, or now can be walking next to you in the mall, or can be sitting next to you in the SNAP benefits line. It's just more visible. And it's always been here. Queer people always been here. But queer people who hate themselves, y'all got to realize that shit ain't about the community, baby. That shit is about you. That shit is about you. That shit is about you. And the question is, do you honestly want, let's say you were the representation, do you want other young queer people growing up to be just as mean-spirited and unaccepting of themselves as you are towards yourself? Are you the proper representation? The person who don't want no fucking representation? Or are you the proper representation for the community? Because I would never want any of my potentially queer cousins, queer siblings, queer friends, or queer children to ever hate themselves and dishonor themselves and unaccept themselves. So give me the spinning RuPaul drag queen persona any day in media. I'll take that happy-go-lucky ass, I don't give a fuck you, eat a dick ass representation. Then you closeted, system-identifying, self-sabotaging ass, pitiful, pathetic ass, self-hating homosexuals and queer people and trans people, whoever the fuck you are on the acronym. I don't appreciate that shit because every other fucking day I got to read an article of some little 9-year-old queer boy or queer girl hanging themselves from getting fucking bullied by a bunch of fucking people who feel that they have a right to make this person not be here no more. You have queer people being raised by parents who would rather choose a doctrine and a dogma over the love of their own child. When people out here losing their fucking life, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. Because y'all are, as BubzDaGawd said, reinforcing the stereotype, reinforcing the self-hate that so many narcissistic, heterosexual-ass people in this country already suffer from. And we don't need y'all helping them. If you don't want to see the shit, I don't know why you can't just not see the shit in peace. But you got to be a fucking fool to actually get out here and talk about a community you actively participate in and down and insult
open representation as if other people shouldn't have a right to see themselves represented anywhere. Why is it that everybody else needs that but gay people? Black women need that representation in media. Black men need that representation in media. Every other minority in this country needs that motherfucking representation. But all of a sudden, we shouldn't be representing homosexuals in media. And I don't even understand, you know what, this ain't even about the heterosexuals. I'm going to keep it exclusive to the gays. But I'm going to shut up because I already done spoke down the highway. I'm going to let you.
To be honest, I can't go behind that bitch because you are, that's when you know to shut the hell up and let someone else speak the absolute truth. But I agree with everything that you said. I agree with everything that you said. We have to be the change that we seek. We have to be the change that we seek. We have to be the ones that's willing to stomp the pavement. And I'm calling my black gay brothers, my black gay sisters, my black gay trans brothers and sisters to the mat. We have the opportunity right now, like I said, with this show, Pose. Pose is over here doing groundbreaking things. And on top of that, this is a gay cast of color. We've complained many times, oh, you know, why is that the black person got to have a white love interest? They may have it. I need to watch more episodes of Pose because I'm pretty sure they probably got something going on. But it's like now you have people that look like you that's on television, and they're not perpetuating the stereotypes. You should be over there supporting them the most. You should be promoting the show the most. You should be uplifting the individuals the most. You should be invested in that. But once again, these conversations need to happen in order for us to understand what's going on. Now, we're going to have to open up our mouths and talk, first of all. This whole thing about, oh, no, listen, conversation is going to be it, and that's why we have to talk now, because if not, shit is going to build and fester, and then there's going to be a point to where hoes not going to be willing to talk no more. It's going to be more about what bitches are going to do, and we don't want to get to that point. No one wants to get to that point. So let's take the opportunity now that we have to have these conversations. And it's going to be hurtful and it's going to be painful, but they are what? Necessary. Absolutely necessary. I want to say thank you so much, Davion, for doing an excellent job of breaking this down. As you host me tell,
bitch, I thought we was just getting started. This is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is it. This is it for me because, bitch, I can't go out today. No. And on top of that, you don't want to give the hoes everything, bitch. You need your hoes coming back for more. We're going to take a page out of the book of religion and have you bitches come back. But see, the thing is that we're not just preaching to you, bitch. We're trying to teach you and to help you so that you can go ahead and go therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name. Okay? So before we end this video, Davion, anything you want to say? Closing remarks?
Yep, there is something I want to say.
Even though, go ahead, bitch. Matter of fact, I'm shutting the fuck up, bitch. Do what you got to do.
I want to say this.
Keep talking.
Just all I ask is, for those of you who want to be slaves, I'm not going to lose any of my edges because you don't want to leave the plantation. What I ask, though, is that if you have your reasons for staying on the plantation and you want those reasons respected, bring yourself to respect other slaves who want to take a run for it and who want a shot at freedom, who want a shot at actual happiness, who want a shot at some sense of normalcy in their life, and living in the closet and discreetly and on the down low and all of the bullshit-ass language y'all use to describe a lack of damn self-love and self-acceptance. Just exchange that same freedom. Exchange that same respect. I am not after people who are comfortable and complacent in their imprisonment. But if you got your reasons for remaining in your cell, also shut the fuck up and realize other people have their reasons for busting loose out of that motherfucker. And let them do so in peace without you talking them out of it, without you judging them for running for their lives, for pursuing their happiness, for pursuing their opportunity to self-actualize. Let some people go freely.
Bitch, you want to be in bondage? Stay in bondage. May God be with you in your bondage. But don't talk other people out of their fucking freedom. And on that note, you can follow me at Consciouztv. That's Conscious with a Z. That's CONSCIOUZ TV on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv at Gmail. Oh, no. Instagram? Yeah. Instagram, Consciouztv. And you can email me at Consciouztv at gmail.com. I appreciate this conversation tonight. And if you guys have things you want us to speak to, I know you guys will leave your comment in the comment section and in the live chat. We will be in the live chat with you guys. And if we have to make a follow-up video to respond to certain things, we will. So definitely leave your criticisms, your opinions, your feelings, your thoughts, whether you are a part of the community or whether you are heterosexual. And we would love to engage you all. I'm just asking for fairness. You know what? It's a lot of shit. You know what? I'm not a stripper, and I'm not a prostitute, but I am on board with supporting prostitutes in their fight for protection and for the legalization of sex work. Because I ain't got nothing to do with another bitch hustle and another bitch bag. And if you are okay with monetizing your body to pay your bills and to take care of your children, I would rather you do that than to put their ass in the oven like some of y'all doing. I would rather you do that than to smother their ass under a blanket like some of y'all doing. So for y'all mothers and y'all fathers who willing to go any mile you need to maintain and to provide for yours, and it don't bring no harm to nobody, oh yeah, I'm going to support that. Now, am I going to push the pavement and the sidewalk? Hell no. But I am never going to be against somebody else's civil rights. And I'm never going to be against their right as a human being to choose for themselves. Okay? And a lot of y'all is going to say, well, me as an status and me giving my opinion ain't going to stop. Yes, it does. We a packed species. What we speak openly about convinces other people of their own choices, especially when they're not strong enough to stand solely on their own decisions. So when you out there on your platform and your social media and you're talking gay people back under a rug and back into a cave and back under a goddamn school bus, some other person trying who's wrestling with their freedom, wrestling with their self-acceptance, is looking at that shit and saying, you know what, it's best that I not. Because it's more important for me to be accepted by my daddy than for me to be accepted by my damn self. It's more important for me to be accepted by these bald-headed ass edgeless hoes at school than it is for me to be accepted by the motherfucker in the mirror. Okay. So you keep that shit in mind. Now, on that note, you can wrap it up, BubzDaGawd, because I can feel a fire that I don't want to bring just yet.
Bitch, I don't know. A part of me wants you to just go ahead and let it burn, bitch. Let it burn like something.
No, because I got a feeling that this comment section is going to give me all the permission to press the gas on that fire. So I'm going to save it depending on what that comment section looks like. I'm going to save it depending on what that live chat situation looks like. And if we got to come back again, bitch, I'm going to come back with a vengeance. And then I'm going to green light the motherfucking fire.
Okay, well, I get to hear the shit once this video is over with, so I get to hear the exclusive shit. But thank y'all so much for taking the time out to sit and to listen to us on this evening. Thank you for the individuals who didn't understand or didn't agree, but yet still sat to try to understand. I appreciate you all. You guys can reach me on my social medias. My Facebook, my Instagram, and my YouTube are all the same. BubzDaGawd, BubzDaGawd, BubzDaGawd. Go ahead and join the fantastic voyage over there. We will see you guys over there. So once again, Davion, thank you so much for taking the time out to have this conversation with me and this conversation with us. It is the beginning of something beautiful. In the beginning, I'm pretty sure of many different conversations that we're going to have. Unpacking the shit and doing the one thing that Christ called us to do, which is to love. And we're going to do that one video at a time. So I want to say good night to everybody. Hope that you all have the rest of a good evening, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Good night.